I want us to be able to talk about believing for better, or knowing that there is a better ahead, okay? Because so many of us venture out, so many of us are actually in this place because of a belief that dropped in your mind, okay? A belief, a single tiny belief that dropped in your mind. But what I want, that could have been a microscopic kind of belief that dropped in your mind that made you the decision to actually be here, or even watch, or even follow. But there is an increase in measure of our faith that we need to be able to tap into in order to get the bigger things that we're actually believing for. And when I talk about faith, some of you will be like, but is this just for Christians? No. Faith is a thing that exists in humanity, right? Oh, yes. Faith is a thing, is believing for things that are not yet as though they are there. And that is why you can say hope is a faith move. Hoping that tomorrow is going to be better than today. But again, not folding your hands and waiting for the better to happen. Because how is the better going to happen? Are the pictures you post, did they come because of just faith? That means that faith has to have an action to it in order for you to be able to manifest the good that you're looking at. Now, those are the tangible things that we are talking about. But again, there are things that are not tangible. That you believe God for a better health. That you believe God for a better family. That you believe God for a better ministry. That you believe God. You don't have a single picture of it. Okay? But guess what? When you talk about belief and faith, I looked at it in my own life and the categories under which it has worked. And I discovered there were 3 categories. One of them was the power of the faith and the belief, okay? Number 2 were the principles that I had to follow. Because I've always said it that if you don't fulfill the principles, if you break the principles break you. So if we say that faith without works is a dead faith, that means I need to have the works. And the works are I am getting more knowledge. The works are I'm building my credibility. The works are I'm practicing my public speaking. The works are I am showing up. You get it? I am being consistent. The works are I am posting. The works are I am consulting someone about my business. So there are principles under which faith and belief work. You can't just say, I believe it will be okay. You believe. Yeah, that's why we should be very careful about ebibozi or the conversations that we have with people. I think, yes, there is a measure of maturity that you get to. And when someone says, I believe, you tell them, break down that belief. Tell me more. So you believe. And then when you say, I just know that it's going, how do you know? How do you know? Huh? Because there are people who are like that. And it's like they're just brushing off their future like that. I will start doing it. I believe it will go through. I believe it will go through. But there is no action attached to it. So now there is the power. There is the principle. These are things that I have seen working in my life. And then there is the pictorial evidence of what I have not yet attained. But if God said that he has a good plan for me, and that, a good plan to prosper me, okay? And he has painted that picture, that I might as well believe in that picture. I'm like, you know what? He's the God of all flesh. Is there anything that is too hard for him? There is nothing that is too hard for me. Now, that is more like a pictorial evidence of what God says I can be able to do. And so I'm like, even if I have not yet gotten it, I have an example to look at. I don't know, some of you, do you guys pray? Do you guys, do you guys, because when it comes to business, I told us, we cannot run businesses. We cannot operate marriages. We cannot even bring up children. We cannot, everything that we think is very significant to do in this world, there is nothing that you can do in your own power. Nothing you can do in your own power. So now we do what is in our docket, the ones that, you know what, let me post, let me call people, let me consult, let me do all these things. But we are saying, do not run out of gas, do not run out of power, tap back into the power of your creator, and the things are going to be much better. You're going to be much better than the ones that are just applying the principles. There's a time I talked about the creative power of desire, of words and thoughts. And I said, my life in totality is the creative power of the desire. You know, when you desire better, you even start dreaming about it. Have you ever desired something good and you start dreaming about it? Or you start seeing it everywhere? Like the power to manifest. Then you're like, okay, that means other people are actually having it. That means I can actually have it. But even when someone comes and tells you, that's not a possibility. As in, no one in our family has ever done that. As in, when you have that deep desire that cannot be quenched. I don't know if some of us have ever had it. That deep desire that cannot be quenched. As in, someone cannot tell you otherwise. You believe it is going to be better. That the future is going to be better. So, we all don't know what the future looks like. But one thing I know is it's going to be better. Why? Because of the three things I talked about. Very powerful. Because of the power of the belief system, because of the principles, and because of the picture or the pictorial evidence. Now, the pictorial evidence, guys, if you see anyone having something, I like the crazy faith of Coach Fifi. If you see anyone having something and you know you are a human being with red blood, and you can say, you know what, I can actually get that or even better. As in, that means God has given you the pictorial evidence that it is achievable. So it doesn't matter how they achieved it, when they achieved it, but does it exist? Can you see it? It is a picture. And you're like, you know what? Now I have something to believe in. That even when someone tells you otherwise, you know, let's minimize it. And let me tell you, this is not a season to play small. This is not a season to play small. We are not diminishing our value. We are not diminishing our desires. We are not diminishing anything about our lives. If anything, we are going to exaggerate. But again, you cannot exaggerate without action. Now, that's the thing. You cannot, because some of us can pump ourselves when we go to these places, motivational speeches, and we're like, yes, we are going to do it, we are going to do it. And then after, you go back and become like a balloon that has lost air. Like, all of a sudden, like, I came out ngampaga. When it comes to belief, my prayer for us is that no one will pump us into believing we are going to slay the giants, but we will develop the strength from within that nothing will be able to stand in front of us. That no word will put us down. That no amount of competition, when you look at it, you'll be like, this is not my competition. I think I'm on a totally different gauge. I think I'm running my own race. I am not here to compare with anyone, to compete with anyone. I am here to run my own race. But run my own race, these things of saying, you know what, I'm tired of employment, let me get my own business so that I can wake up at around midday and at around 1. And then you're saying, oh, I'm minding my business. Are you? Are you minding your business? The people that mind their business, they wake up thinking, they sleep thinking about their businesses. How do I attract more clients? How do I make an offer? How do I tweak? How do I... You see all these companies. The reason as to why they will even employ brand managers. And in Coca-Cola, you will find that they don't have just one brand manager. There is one that is managing Coca-Cola. There is one that is managing the water. There is one that is managing, as in each brand has a brand manager. And under the brand manager, there are like more 15 people that are just thinking, what is our color coordination? What is the campaign we are doing this month? You know, we are getting into the holidays. The kids are at home. Their calendar colors and crosses, and they're like, we have the Easter season coming up. And then we have Christmas. By now, they're already thinking, what offers are they going to give during Christmas days, you know? And how, so you realize the people that are minding their business, they are meticulous, they are particular, they are doing something. But guess what? While they are constructing all those things, they have a belief. They are working on the belief that this product is going to sell. They are working on the belief that we are going to make profits. They are working on the belief that we are going to be paid. They are working, so that means everyone is working with a belief. So they are working with faith that people are going to like their product. But again, they are not rested. They are not saying, people have taken Coca-Cola for how long? Before we were born, before like more than 100 years. So they would have said, everyone by now, everyone knows Coke. Even the child that was born yesterday knows Coke. So, I mean, let's just sit back and have faith that our merchandise is going to go. Do you see how serious they are with their brand? As in, they will go to the list of the villages. They will be on your TV. They will be on radio. They will be, but who doesn't know Coca-Cola? You'd have said, let the new brands, let the new boys, you know, do the advertising. But they have faith. That is why they have the numbers. They calculate. And they're like, you know, they even have prospects. They're like, you know, okay, so we are seeking to increase our business by this margin, by this percentage. Do you know how calculative people are in their lives and in their businesses? They have already figured out what to do with inflation. They've already figured out what to do with URA. They've figured out everything. So when you're saying, the next time you're saying, I am minding my business, I need you to define and to redefine what minding your business actually means. It doesn't mean sleeping on the job. It doesn't mean folding your hands. It means understanding, okay, what is happening? What are people doing? What is the wave? Can I be able to change something, tweak something? Can I do the same thing that other people are doing? What am I going to do? So if we want to have a better future, you must be a better you, okay? And getting to the future, do you know that so many of us believe that future is the same as better? Like there is a way people usually just say it in passing, that tomorrow will be better. But do you know that you can arrive at a future that is not better? You can arrive at a future that is worse. So, because I need to bring these things to your awareness, so that next time you say tomorrow will be better, you will define what better looks like and what brings the better. If you're saying I'm going to have more money tomorrow, what are the channels that you are doing? What are the things that you're doing right now that are going to put money into your pocket? If you're saying, I'm going to be healthier tomorrow, you don't just say that and say, you know, I'm going to, and there's a way we procrastinate on eating healthy. We're like, I'll start on Monday. How many of us think we will start on Monday? Every time. We keep thinking there's always a brand new week and we are going to start on Monday. And then if the month is coming to an end, there's a way we procrastinate. We round off to the next. And so we're like, but the 1st of May is about to come. I will start on the 1st of May. We do that for everything that is going to help us. For eating healthy, for exercising. You know, I'll start promoting my business then. Beginning of week. Your Friday. As in, what's the difference between promoting your business on Friday and on Monday? Sorry? Ugobo yagala Monday. Ola baba nafu. You see people that are going to arrive at a future and then you're like, what happened? I expected a better future. They told me my tomorrow will be better than today. And then all of a sudden you arrive at your tomorrow and you're looking around and you're like, Wanjige tuse mangu. You know, you just press forward, fast forward, and all of a sudden, zoom, you're in the future. And then, no, have you seen these sci-fi movies where people do time movement and time lapses and those things? You guys have not watched them. Yeah, time travel. You've to watch time travel. And then all of a sudden, someone is landing and they land on Earth. And it's a different time now. It is 2070 something. And all of a sudden they're seeing, think the world is different. But different in a better way. Some of those time travels have traveled to a place, and by the way, the world is a much worse place. Why? Because maybe all people were killed, and you people don't watch movies. Me, I'm a movie lover. So, our future, I want to bring that home. I want to nail it. If it's about your business, if it's about every area of your life, work, health, fitness, relationships, your job, whatever it is, you want, because what is the future? Let's just randomly say, what is the future? Because some of us might think that future is 5 years ahead. The future is next second. That means I'm already in the future. You get it? So those things of saying, you know what, let me procrastinate. Do you see how we procrastinate? And we procrastinate about the future that is not 20 years to come, but the future that is tomorrow. But if you ate good well, if you ate in a healthy way now, you're going to start seeing those results starting tomorrow. Your sleep is going to be different. Exercise. You will stop snoring. You will feel lighter. You will feel better. Not because you have lost any weight, but because you started eating well. But because you started making movements, even if it was just to walk. So our future is not far away from us. The next time we say that my future is going to be better, we should be already rolling with action. Okay? You should actually start with the action before you can anticipate the future. So, because I don't want us to act like we don't know what we know. Because that is what we do. We are kafulus of acting like we don't know what we know. We minimize, not in other people's presence, but we also minimize our own knowledge. You don't become a better speaker by watching. You become a better speaker by... Some of you are like, I'm going to watch YouTube videos, and then, this one speaks so well. This one speaks so well. Before you know it, you're speaking American English, and you're speaking Evita Kwatagana. But we must develop our own consistency. Okay, let's first get done with the belief before I can start nailing my nails. Before you get annoyed about me, okay? And do you know that you can get better even in a worse season? Some of us wait for good seasons in order to get better. We wait for things to be clearer. You know, I'm waiting for clarity. You don't wait for clarity. You work towards clarity. So even when you're moving through the shadow of death, you are fearful. You don't know what tomorrow is. Do you know the best time to invest? Is when things are bad. That is the time you do the investment. That is the time you put in the work. That is the time you work harder. That is the time, because sometimes our pain has a way of propelling us and pushing us to doing better. So you can get better even in the worst of the seasons. You can get better. Who is that? I think it was Isaac, who they said that even in famine, he was reaping 100-fold. Okay? You want to get to a better where so many of our counterparts out there right now are like, where are we going this night? They're already contacting their birthdays. Where are we going this night? And they will go from maybe bar to bar, and they will do all those things. And I'm not saying all of them, but some of them are going to arrive at a future where you are and you are thriving, and they're asking yourself, but how comes she's thriving and I'm not thriving? You had different seasons in different... When two people can go through the same kind of famine, the same kind of bad things, and one turns out different and the other turns out. The other can turn out worse to the point of death, and the other can turn out like their life made an about turn completely. And they just embrace the new version of themselves. And now they're the ones to help others. So I don't want you to get to that time and you look back and you're like, but we started together. But we were in the same community. But we watched the same TV. We listened to the same person. Do you know that you can listen to Bahati? Two people can listen to Bahati. One turns out worse and one turns out better. Because then it's not about my words. It's about what you believe. It's about your faith. It's about how you activate your faith. And it's about what you do with what you're hearing. That's why I will give you the personal growth, but I will also give you something that the world cannot give you. I will give you God. And I will say when you do, if he says that you can do all things through me, that means you can be consistent. That means you can do everything that you need to be able to do. Okay? So your future is not at the mercy of circumstances that you can't control. Your future is not at the mercies of circumstances that you cannot control. For example, you cannot control your boss. But your future is not tied to your boss. Right? It's not tied to your clients. They can come, they will fail to come. Your future is not tied to that because it's not in your control. Now, do you see how some of us misallocate our energies to the wrong arenas and wrong people? So we want a better future, but we are allocating the energy that we would have used to create the better future to things that we can't control. What else can't we control? There are so many things that we can't control. Sorry? What others think about us. Your future is not at the mercy of anyone and how they think about you. If it were like so, let me tell you, some of us would be non-existent. Like non-existent. So do you see how you can give it so much attention and you fail to do what you would have done to make the better tomorrow, the better next minute, or the better next 5? Because again, we don't want to create a better future, and then a better future is continuously created. Because you want to be better tomorrow, after next year, after 5 years. You don't want to have a crash and then you say, gundi yagagawala muko katono olwamala nakola atya. We want wealth that is lasting. And wealth that is lasting, that only God can give. The devil can give, but only for a time. And it will come crumbling down. But what God gives, no one can take away. But guess what? We sustain. We do the work. Because he blesses the works of our hands. So if we don't work, that means he has nothing to bless. Like, oh, I also want to go viral. You want to sit home and go viral? Want you? We wish for things, eh? You know, I just wish I can find a Prince Charming to the single ladies in the house. Oh, I wish I can find a Prince Charming, sweep me off my feet and, you know, take me where. And they're going to find you under your bed or in your sitting room watching movies. They invite you for parties and you're like, but those are not my things. You know, I'm an introvert. It's okay. You get married to your introversy. There is work to do, guys. There is work to do in order to have that future that we actually want to have. That is why do we do vision boards? Do you see how it ties in, how it adds up? The reason as to why we do vision boards is because we expect a better future. And so we want to pin that future so that it can remind you that you have to cut your kilos, and I am telling myself, to 75. And then remind yourself, I have a long journey to go. And then I'm like, no, if so far I have lost 25, 30, that means I can lose 10 more. You get it? But it is work. I'm not going to sit here and say, I just wish that I wake up one day and I am size 12. I just wake up one day and I have a good skin. Aren't you? Principle, what you apply on your skin every day and what you eat is what we are going to see on your skin. You don't just wave a magic wand and everything is okay. So, everything you can't control. We have not named all of them, but everything that you can't control, I want you to know that your future is not at the mercy of that particular thing. You can't control your auntie, your family, and how they look at you. You can't control who is in the shrine right now mentioning your name and taking pictures. No, you can't. Because apparently they can get your picture. Someone's like, but don't post the pictures. Don't post the pictures. I'm like, if someone wants my picture, they can get it anywhere. My future is not tied to anyone who thinks otherwise. The moment we know that is when we take back the power and know that we are the creators. Together, we create the future that we want. You want to see yourself on that big podium, presenting and speaking to the world? You want to see yourself as a household brand? You want to see people craving and rushing to buy your cakes, that if someone makes a wedding and they are not buying a cake from you, then they feel less than. They feel like they have cheated themselves. There is work to do. You have to polish your skills. But me, I wasn't created to market. Kale, I was just created to do these background things. Kale, I can make the cakes, but that marketing and sales, me, I don't want to do. Woe unto you. And for everything that you cannot control, God was so wise, he did not give you dominion over them. That's why you don't have a right over anyone's mouth. They can say anything they want. Over anyone's brain, can you control what they think about you and what they don't think about you? Can you control how much money your boss pays you or does not pay you, or what they think? Some people think they will never amount to anything, or your family. You can't. So God did not give you dominion over them. He was so wise. Do you know what he gave you dominion over? Yourself. And what you do. So you can decide whether you want to sleep, whether you want to make the sales, whether you want to market, whether you want to create the content, whether you want to build a business, whether you want to be consistent at your business. Like, all those are in your control, because it is about you. It is not about anyone else. You cannot control the economy. You cannot control the weather. You cannot control the inflation. You cannot control anything else. So the moment you know that the best person I have to control is me, then you know you have to get to work. And part of the assignment I am giving you is I want you to look for areas where you need to give your attention right now. The areas where you think, if I put attention to this, if I do this work, indeed, there is a returns on investment, so that you can be able to remind yourself to actually do it. When you get better, then you can handle anything. So you realize that when you get in the habit of being consistent, of showing up, you are getting better, you are growing, as in even all your problems start to dwindle and diminish and shrink. They look like they are smaller. Someone says something, or you would have thought about it the whole month, thinking, how dare he, how dare she. But right now you hear it and it just has a second of you. As in, the second they said it, yes, you had it, but the next second you forgot about it, because you're busy creating your course, because you're busy building your business, because you're busy doing something else, because you have gotten better at dominating over your feelings and your emotions. And now you don't wear them on the sleeves, that every small thing that happens, okay, Kale, they did that to me. Okay, let's see what? God is not activated by emotions. What have you done? And where can he place his blessing? Okay? That is all. So, better requires better behavior. Okay? And better requires better beliefs. Your beliefs drive your behavior. You want to know what someone believes in? Look at what they do. When someone believes in the power of prayer, we don't just say it that, I believe in the power of prayer, and you can never pray, or you can never, whenever you pray, you slumber. Like 1 minute you're yawning, you're doing this, and then, I believe in the power of prayer. We don't know what you believe in, because your body is telling us otherwise. I can build a better business. In order to build, do you know that people who are not building businesses are the ones that have the most say on businesses that are being built? If you tweak it like this, and if you handle it like this, and then if you handle it like this, and you're like, but where is yours? Because your beliefs drive your behavior. If you believe I can overcome, let me tell you, you will walk like an overcomer. If you believe I am a winner, you will walk like a winner. If you believe that, I am getting better every day, I'm a better speaker, when they invite you to speak, you will stand upright and you will walk upright. But the moment you don't believe in yourself, have you seen people who are not confident with themselves and how they walk? It's like they want to walk zigzag. They can't walk in a straight line. They think people are looking at them. They think, even when they're putting on long skirts, have you ever seen people who have, I used to have a friend who had smaller legs. And like for her, it was amazing how I would see her different and she would see herself different. Do you know that sometimes what you consider a weakness or a bad thing, other people are actually not seeing it? So you're the one blowing it out of proportion. And, but you know, I have small legs. But you know, I have small legs. I was like, do you know that the most of the times I enjoy seeing you putting on shorter things because your legs actually look better. They look good. It's like, you're just mentioning it because you're my friend. No, I'm not mentioning it because I'm your friend. You actually look better. But the moment you pull our attention to it, then we're like, yeah, there's something wrong. And then you're like, hey, how is it? Is it like covered brackets like this? Or why they look like this? Like, how do they look like? Because then you are pulling our attention to it, okay? Your beliefs drive your behavior. So ask yourself, okay? The next time you see a behavior, just know that there is a deep-seated belief inside of you that has been driving that behavior. If your behavior is pulling people down, if your behavior is not committing work to your business, if your behavior is not committing time to your personal growth, if your behavior and you speak otherwise, you realize that speech will never make up for what is lacking in behavior. Speech will never make up because that is compensation. And we don't compensate by speaking. We actually make good by catching up with our action and saying, how far behind am I? Can I speed up? Can I be able to do the things that I need to be able to do? And indeed, you can be able to catch up. Okay? So, I don't want to just believe in what I say. Do you know that you can also do that? You take inventory about yourself and just say, you know what? I have been mudomo, I have been speaking, but there's something that needs to be done. So you say, I'm not going to believe in just words. I am going to believe in what I do. Do you know that most of the times, I don't know about you, but for me, when I set my to-do list, and which has very few things, it has only 3 things, okay? I learned the power of never loading my to-do list. And so I feel so nice if I get something checked and done. I don't know about you, but I just feel like, yeah, I did it. So we cannot talk about the power of belief without talking about the power of action. There has to be action, say, attached to it. So I don't want to believe in what you say. When you say you want to be better, when people sign up for this mentorship and they say they want to be better, they want to be public speakers, they want to be coaches, they want to be rich, wealthy, impactful business people. No, I don't believe in what you tell me. I believe in what you do. I believe in your behavior. That is why I will, like, what are you doing? From time to time. I will visit your pages. I want to see what you're doing because I don't believe in words. We can say so. Someone can glamorize and like, you know what? Has someone ever told you something and you're like, this mission is finished? Like it has not yet started, but they draw the roadmap, they speak big things, they speak, let me just say, maybe you're organizing an event, and someone says, you know what, this one is done. You know, we're going to do this, and then we're going to do this, and then we're going to invite so-and-so, and then we're going to send these invites, and then we're going to, and they will read you the whole, and they glamorize it until you feel like, you know what, it is actually done. Get to doing the work. Excuse it. You know, my computer blacked out. You know, on my laptop. You know, I was just about to send that list, like right now. I was about to send it. And then, why didn't you send it? You know, now I thought about something to add, so I was still adding on something. And then, let me tell you, the event comes. And nothing, if you don't rescue yourself. That is why I usually tell people who create events or to not rely on other people, to rely on themselves, to do as much as they can for themselves. When other people give you a roadmap and it's glamorized and you're seated in the boardroom and you actually see it is finished, go back and do your own work. Go back and do what? Your own work. Like seriously, because you will go to an empty room that has no people. And then you ask, but I think it's because it's been a rainy season, you know. And then I think the venue was not that, I think strategy. I think next time, and those people, Teba power game, they will have strategy for the next one. After having an empty room, they will have strategy for the next one. But the next one is going to be better. But you know, I saw a few things that we can change. I think we need to change this and change that. And you're like, hello, why didn't we perform? You get it? So I don't want, even with people, even in relationships, guys, I have told you before, don't just believe in what someone is saying. Huh? Look at their behaviors. Like, oh, I love you so much. Love is not mentioned. Love is what? Action. And it doesn't have to be big, flamboyant, buy me 1,000 roses, take me to Dubai. No, what? No. Pat me on the shoulder and tell me things are going to be okay. Be with me in times of need. You get it? And the small ones, but and they're the ones failing people. To send a text message and say, you're the love of my life. And I am envisioning, I can't wait for the rest of our lives. Do you know how that just rekindles the butterflies in someone's stomach? But some people, you just say, but I buy food and you have a roof over your shoulder, and then we have children. Hey, children are evidence of love. Children are not evidence of love. A house over your shoulder is not evidence of love. And guess what? Making love is not evidence of love. No, it is not. No. It's the acts of kindness that you do, the subtle acts of kindness that you do every day. When you hold someone in the waist, when you look at them in the face and assure them. Those are the things that matter. Those are the things that matter. So while someone is showing you the glamorized, we're going to do this and then we're going to do this, and then there are those in the present, they're not doing anything, but they're selling you the future. Because they know, Bambi, we are fragile and you can easily buy into the future. Have you seen someone selling you the future? Our old life is just going to be good. The children will have gone out and then we'll have more time with ourselves. If I can't have more time with you right now, do not promise me the future. What future are you promising? If you've been running 1,000 miles, how what? And then all of a sudden you're promising a future in, we will be watching sunsets together. No, we will be watching sunsets as strangers. Because right now, I am looking at your behavior. I'm not looking at your words. I don't even hear them. It's like people who know. There are people who know their spouses. They're like, if we get invited, even if they bring a card, that wedding you have to attend alone. Or you have to, they are never there for anything. Why are you guys laughing? Why? And then all of a sudden they're like, they even, there's one who told me, that is what, there's one, as in every time we get invited and it's just two of us, and sometimes Bambi, the woman really wants, she really wants to go to events with the husband. And then the husband will be like, and the woman will go. Actually, she told me at some point she even bought a suit. And because she had gotten a very nice gomesi and got a suit for the husband. And so I asked her, before you even finished the story, I know that you didn't go to you went alone and you were so annoyed. And I'm like, so how many times has this happened? I was like, but I think there are more than 30 times where he has promised to go with me and has not gone with me. I was like, so now you still had the belief. Some of us tetuwanika. Someone shows you consistent action as a perpetual dodger. And for you, you're like, Njaku gogo saga. Njaku kwata. I will get a hold of you. You get it? Don't chase people who don't want to be caught. That does not mean faith does not mean you should be stupid. Faith does not mean you should consistently believe in something that doesn't want to be believed in. The faith, when it comes to business, okay? Even business, by the way, there is power in knowing when to start and when to stop. Like, but let me inject in the capital for one last time. And you're like, how many times have you injected in capital? Never. And you're like, those are like 15 times. There is a man who told me, I'm not doing this business for the sake of, for doing business with my wife. I'm actually keeping her busy. That is why I keep injecting money. Yes, I'm keeping her busy. There's capital injection, capital death. Capital injection, capital death. Capital injection, and she's also calling herself an entrepreneur. Let me tell you, entrepreneur and business people. But indeed, she's doing business. But business without growth, okay, is no business. That is why we come to the surgery of, why is it not working? Why aren't I making sales? Why is my stock coming down? Why is there what? Is the person working for me taking money? Or aren't I giving it enough time? We ask all those questions, okay? So Don't just believe in what people say, but believe in their behaviors. There is that evidence, because if you ask me evidence, best evidence is in the Bible. In James 2:18, it says that, but someone will say, you have faith, and then I have deeds. Show me your faith without deeds, and I will show you a faith by my deeds. So if I say, I have faith that tomorrow is going to be better, in what area of life? Let's first know. So if you're saying in your marriage, and then you ask yourself, so what am I doing in order to materialize that faith? Because God is not going to come and start doing things. It's like, I have faith this car is going to take us to Entebbe, and yet it doesn't have fuel. I have faith this car is going to take us, but the last time it had service is like 5 months ago. I have faith it is going to get us there, but whenever you're driving, it is wobbling. Not aligned at all, but you have faith it is going to get there. That is why we have spiritual accidents. You start with your faith, and I think sometimes God has those lenses. He brings them down. You know how people with luggage bring their lenses down? I'm not the one who said it. There are other people who say, they bring it down, and then they look through the eyes. Not the lens, the eyes. Because they're like, Chino Chinsu Seko. I must see it with my bare eyes. I think sometimes God gets to that extent. He's like, you know what? These lenses, let them come down. Let me look at Zahara. He's like, let's see how that car gets you to Entebbe. And before you know it, there's a story I read some time back about a man that was on the roof, and the place had flooded and he had nowhere to go, so he was on the roof. And he was praying to God that, God, please rescue me, rescue me. And so a person comes with a boat. And this man has the audacity of telling the person with the boat that, no, I have prayed to God. He's going to rescue me, so it's okay, you can go. Another person comes with a canoe. Another person comes with a helicopter, telling them the same thing, that please, I have already prayed, and God is actually going to redeem me. He's going to rescue me. It's a done deal, so you can go. So the story ends in a very bad way, that this man dies, and he's able to go and talk it over with God. When after dying, he's like, but I believed in you. I waited for you to rescue me. I prayed. And God was like, so what did you want me to do? I sent someone with a canoe, someone with a boat, someone with a helicopter, and you were telling them that you're waiting. What kind of help did you actually need? Wanted to fly, and he had to fly to his death or to swim to his death. Okay? But there is always a better way. Our actions. And I want us to be, as in, show your faith by the deeds that you do. If you believe that you're going to be very okay? They say that when someone gets to around, when you get to 40, actually 35, 37, 40, you start losing the muscle. Okay? And right now, you should be at the place where some of us are thinking, okay, what happens? Do I need to be strong at 60 and 70? That means I start now to be able to exercise. I start now to be able to lift some weights. I start now to be able to incorporate. So I don't want to get to 40, ngotambulo wogoka, yeah, because that's what happens. You've seen old people. Bones can even break without an accident. Yes. Because you have lost it. The bones have become weak. You just knock a stool and a bone breaks. But why? Because you did not do what you were supposed to do. So, can you be able to incorporate and see, this is the future that I want, but what do I do in order to get to that future? Okay? So, if you don't see where your behavior is taking you, then you're living in denial. You should see, by the way, that I am planting these seeds, okay? And these seeds are going to give me this kind of results. This is the behavior that I have every time I have my mouth in the nose, frowning about something. So that behavior must be leading you to unemployment. That behavior is leading you to I mean, who wants to stay in a relationship with a frowning person? Every time you're frowning about something. We want your dose of happiness, that you can even laugh about the worst things in the world. The world is already sad, so we don't want to date sad people. Can you make an effort? Business is already hard. We don't want to do business with hard people. You have a hard business and then you're working with hard people. What is that? So if you don't know where your behavior is taking you, I need you to look at your behavior and say, this sleeping up to 11, okay, where is it leading me? Because the Bible says that a thief comes like a vagabond. If you're saying a little slumber and a little more covering of the head, and the thief will come and poverty will come and pounce on you like a vagabond. Where is this behavior taking me? Of saying that, you know what, I don't think social media, you know, let them do that. Where is that behavior taking you? So everything that you can term as a behavior, it's an act, right? It's an action. So ask yourself, is this act leading me somewhere? If the act of not saving, you don't have any emergency fund at all, where is it taking me? That I'm going to fall on hard days and I will have no means of rescuing. Because guess what? Every day, these days, people are tight. You want to go to someone, you know, help me here. And they also have like a burden, a pile. They will even read them to you. They'll be like, I have a sick parent. If you meet anyone that is above the age of 30, just know they've already started dealing with sick parents, with old parents, with siblings that need help, okay? And maybe they have people that are looking up to them. And then you also, so they are dividing their money, and you also want to place yourself in their way and saying, you know what, I need help. And then when they ask you, what do you, you know, I was supposed to go for the vacation, but my money is not enough. Hey. Yeah. There is someone, by the way, who borrowed money from someone, and 2 days after borrowing the money, they were in Dubai having the fun of their life. Now, this person saw, like on social media, this person, I think, made like 1,000 calls. Can you believe it? Can you believe it? As in my hard-earned money. I even had so many needs. Someone just took money to go. And then after that, they were playing the victim and saying, you know what, you know, the days are hard. You know, I will pay you when I eventually get the money, but I don't know when I will get the money. Hey. Yeah, okay. Faith by your deeds. And then you can't fix it if you don't face it. So that is why I want you to face your behaviors. I want you to face your actions. Yes, we know about the faith. Yes, we know about the belief. But I want you to be able to, because we say that our beliefs are driving forces for the behaviors. But when your behavior should tell you that, by the way, you don't have the same faith that you're saying, if we are two people and my actions are bad and the other actions are good, that means that we have different belief systems, right? We are feeding from different belief systems and different faith. So it's possible that the other one is feeding from empty faith and blind faith, that tomorrow will be better just anyhow. But the other one could be feeding from the straight faith from the Bible that says that faith without actions is dead. So I must be able to sow in order to reap. And God cannot be mocked that what I sow is what I reap. So I sow sluggardness, I will reap sluggardness. I sow laziness, and I will reap laziness, more laziness. Okay? And let us know if, just get to take inventory of yourself and say, if you've not yet gotten to the place, understand and say, I have not gotten to the place of being wealthy, I have not gotten to the place of being disciplined, I have not gotten, kubanga, if you live in denial, people who live in denial, you can never get to a place that you already got to, right? So if you're in denial, it's like telling people, you know, I am rich. And you've seen people who do that. And then they don't do anything about it. They just talked about it, but they don't do anything about it. So you cannot go to someone and tell them, you know, help me, I want to get this amount of money. You already spoke about it as though you are there, so you cannot arrive at a place where you already arrived. So can you know and say, I have not arrived here, I have not arrived to this ability, I have not arrived to this amount of sales, I have not arrived to this kind of business, to this magnitude. I have no business lying to anyone else that everything is good in my life. If I want to take that journey, let me take that journey right now. Yeah, because some of us, we live in a world where there are filters. We live in a world where everyone posts whatever they want on social media, and they will post a life. Let me tell you, the most miserable people are people that are wanting to prove to the world that they are living a different lifestyle, and yet they are living a different lifestyle. And so many influencers have come out to say they rented a house particularly for influencing, and they did everything particularly, but that was not their daily life. And now they want to transition to their authentic life, and everyone is unfollowing. Because you gave them something else which you are not. But show us the journey to building to there, so that we can also believe and have hope that it is doable. Instead of saying every day you're putting on something different, every day you're doing something different, and then we are thinking, our lives are really boring. How many of you, after looking at social media, you think your life is boring? I am one of those people. You look at social media and you're like, my. The world is on a fast lane. And, I mean, but for me, I decided long ago, I'm not on any speed or any competition with anyone. So I'll be like, if I need to put the phone down, I will put, I can take a day minus looking at my social media. Because so local mutima. Do you want to get sick? Yeah, I don't want to get sick. So you can't get to a place you think you are already at. So can we go back and understand where we really are? Okay? So that we can be able to start on that journey instead of us living in denial or lying to ourselves, so that we can get to the place where we need to be able to get. Okay? So let's have a teachable spirit. Let's have a teachable spirit. If you want your faith to grow, if you want your belief to grow, have a teachable spirit. Last time we talked about grace and we talked about the saving grace, and this time there is also the saving faith, okay? The faith that saves you. And that is in Ephesians, for it is by grace that you have been saved through faith, and it is not from yourselves. It is the gift of God, not by works, so that no one can actually boast. So there is even the saving faith. How many of us have made those blind prayers sometimes and you're like, God saved me from this? And indeed, God saved you from that. So that means by the time you said it, it's because you believed that there is power. You believe that God can come through. You believe that he's unlimited. And you believe that, you know what, whether he comes through or he does not come through, like the Hebrew boys, they were like, you know what, we are not bowing to any other God. Okay? So the faith to save. That exists, and it's for all of us. It does not segregate. You don't have to do so much for it, the faith to save. And we agreed last time when we talked about the saving grace, is we are not saved from different things or delivered from different things just for just. We are here to fulfill a mission. And your mission could be in the field of business. Your mission could be in the field of coaching. Your mission could be in the field of public speaking. Whatever it is, in the children, whatever it is, we have what it takes to make sure that we fulfill that. But if we don't do what we need to do, then we cannot. And then the second kind of faith I want to talk about is the specific faith. The specific faith, some of us, do you know that some people believe that they can, you believe one thing is possible and another is not possible. Like, I can make it in business, but healing is not possible. That I can make it, for so many people have given up on marriage. Do you see how people throw in the towel on the faith when it comes to marriage? And they're like, but I don't think we so okay. And yet when it comes to business, you have faith. And you're like, God help me. You know, God help me make the sales. God help me do this. And then you even put the plans in place and you start making the sales. But when it comes to, business, now, I want you to be very specific about it and develop, because faith can be developed. Okay? So the last question I'm asking you, what is your faith development plan? What is your faith development plan? Okay? I need you to, that is an assignment. How do you develop that faith? Because you need to increase in faith in order to even manifest anything, see anything. We're talking about vision boards. We're talking about writing down what we want to achieve. We're talking about, yes, we have a certain amount of faith, but if we need to develop the faith to manifest the things that we need to manifest, we need to be able to develop it. And that is an assignment. So next time we start, we're going to start with that assignment. How are you going to develop your faith? I know how I develop my faith, and I will share how I develop my faith. But we need to develop the belief systems that cannot be beaten, not in famine, not in the storm, not in the lack, not in the loss, nothing, that we will withstand any kind of storm that comes in our lives, knowing that we have already overcome, knowing that we are already rich, knowing that we already have the good marriages, and knowing that we already have the good careers that we are working on and we are mastering and we are manifesting, and things are working. I love you guys, and I pray over you that the faith will be solid to operate that business like no man's business, that your business will be different from anyone else. Your marriage will be different from anyone else. Your children shall come out different from anyone else, because we have faith that they're going to turn out different, and we have a belief that they're going to turn out different, and the power to be able to activate and act on the things that we need to act in order to manifest that kind of results. Love you, love you.